We're on the road. We left our camp at that desert oasis, and we are starting the long drive towards Machu Picchu. But it will be several days before we get there. We've stopped for some lunch.
I have some chicken feet soup again. Yummy.
And along the way, we will be driving through what they call the Peruvian coastal plains, which we've been calling a desert. We have a few interesting spots along the way.
We really do.
And a bit of a surprise is coming in about a week. We have a friend coming, flying in to do Machu Picchu with us.
Can't wait.
But for now, we're gonna eat our lunch and then take you to our next little stop. The Nazca lines, one of Peru's greatest mysteries. The lines drawn in geometric patterns and distinct animal shapes across the Peruvian desert have inspired many theories over the years. First, you need to know that the Nazca lines are found in a region of Peru about 200 miles southeast of Lima, near the modern town of Nazca. In total, there are over 800 straight lines, 300 geometric figures, and 80 animal and plant designs that have been discovered so far. Some of the straight lines run up to 30 miles long, while the designs can range anywhere from 50 to 1,200 feet in length. Scientists believe the lines are 500 to 2,000 years old, although they were not discovered until the 1920s because they can only be spotted from the sky. In the 1930s, more and more lines were discovered as commercial pilots started to see them as they flew over Peru. New ones continue to be discovered today with the use of drones. This area of Peru only gets about 20 minutes of rain every year. That, along with portions of the area being shielded from the wind, these drawings are amazingly well maintained. The top layer of soil in this area has oxidized over thousands of years and turned it an orange color. When the original Nazca people constructed these lines, they dug down 10 to 15 inches and the soil turned a brighter yellow color, causing the lines to be very distinct. Back to the theories of the lines. Some say they are an astronomy map. Others say they are used as a calendar tool. There are even alien theories associated with these lines. But the most recent scientific theories seem to be that the lines were used as props for ceremonies, most likely asking the gods for rains and crop growth. The absolute best way to see the lines is on a plane, and there are many tours down here offered in the area. But plane tours do not fit our current budget. So we are thankful that Peru has installed these lookout towers where we can see a few for ourselves, right here on the side of the Pan American Highway. We have left the area of the Nazca lines, which means we're starting to leave the desert. And what we need to do today is start to acclimate to higher altitude again for us and especially for the kiddies, most importantly for Vanna. We've been down on the coast, which is right at sea level, and we last night stayed at the desert at about 1,200 feet, but we're about to climb, and we're gonna climb up really high over the next few days. So we found a camp that is around 8,000 feet. That's where we plan on spending the night tonight. Nothing fancy about it. It's just a spot to acclimate everybody before tomorrow when we start going up into the 12 and 13,000s as we drive our way towards Cusco. Driving through the city of Nazca, which looks like it's probably the last little bit we're gonna spend at this lower elevation because we're headed straight for some big mountains.
All right, this is another archaeological site outside of Nazca, and I think that straight line might be one of the Nazca lines, and then as you can see there's some other geometric shapes. Not really quite sure anybody understands what these are. There are several theories, but anyway, we're about to start climbing, guys. It looks like we're going to be coming up in another canyon along a river. As you can see, we're kind of in the desert, and then all of a sudden we have this vegetation. You've probably heard me talk about that a lot, but Let's go back to the van and get on the road. All right, we pulled off. I wanted to show you this point of interest, Cerro Blanco. So basically the white mountain or the white peak right through there, you can see it just over the mountain. It's a sand dune. It's actually the world's tallest sand dune. It's 6,800 feet. Some people climb to the top. I guess it takes about 5.5 hours up, an hour and a half down. We will not be doing that today. We weren't even sure if we were going to get to set our eyes on it. But there it is, just for us and just for you, the world's tallest sand dune.
We have climbed through these curvy mountain roads, and we have made it to 8,100 feet, where there is a little restaurant right next to us. There's not much out here, so we hope that they're going to let us stay here in their parking lot while we acclimate before we start heading higher tomorrow. Here it is on our trusty iOverlander app. If you click on it right there, you'll see the last time somebody was here was just a few weeks ago. So we feel like we should be good to go. Curt is in there doing his thing.
I think we can park around back. I'm gonna go walk around and see, and then I'll come back.
Awesome. Gee, look at there, buddy.
All right, guys, we have a 8,000 foot view coming into the Andean mountains out of the kitchen. We're having some chicken, mushroom, onion, pepper tacos. Snow snuggled back up there with G-Money, hanging out. Nanner's up here helping me cook on the dash. But it's gonna get a little chilly tonight. I already feel it setting in, so it's probably about 55 degrees. The sun's going down. Happy we made it. The lady here is really nice. Julia, I was able to get a couple supplies. So back behind where we parked, the moon looks like it continues to get more full, or fuller. And the sun's going down. Looks like we're gonna get a really nice mountain sunset. Wow. We can see quite a ways out there, guys. It's beautiful. Little hazy. It's our home for the night.
We literally got up before the crack of dawn this morning. Curt drove us about 45 minutes to a spot where if you're lucky, you get a glimpse of the Andean condors as they're leaving their nests for the day. We were here when the sun came up. We saw a couple of them. They were very far away. We tried to get one. We'll see if we got him when we download the video. But now we're gonna see if there's any more. They roost along these cliff edges. We tried to fly the drone, it's just too far away. So whether or not we got to show them to you, who knows? But we did see one of the largest flying birds fly right over our van. Now when you look on the cliffs, the way you spot their nests is you can find the bird poo. So you look for the white specks and then see if there's birds there. It's almost 7 o'clock and everybody says that they tend to take off between 6 and 7. Maybe we'll get a glimpse of another one. What do you think, Curt?
I'm not optimistic.
The sun is coming up over these mountains. There's a chance that we see one still over there on the cliff roosting. We're gonna wait a little bit longer to see if he flies too. We need a bigger lens.
We do need a bigger lens.
We need a bigger lens. But we'll do with what we've got, right, Curt?
Yeah.
The kind of lens we need to get one of these is...
A 600 millimeter lens is what we need.
What are they? $2,000 or $3,000?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna have to make do with the little bit of shaky footage I got with our lens. It was still pretty cool to watch them fly. All right, so right behind me, you'll see a group of guanacos. They're a larger version of the vicuñas that we've shown you before. There's also a couple of vicuñas in this pen, and this is a pen, it's large, just behind the museum for this national park. And these guys are on the mend, and as soon as they're better and can run fast enough, they will get to go back out in the wild. But this museum is out in the middle of nowhere. It's at a little, almost 14,000 feet elevation. And the nice lady is a volunteer. Her name is Angie. And she gave us a tour of the inside part of the museum first, where we saw all the different animals that live in this national park. And there's 5,000 acres, or hectares. And you can't drive to it. You can only drive to a few parts right here by the road. And where we saw the condors this morning, that's also part of this national park and about a mile from this museum. So there are some hikes here, but they're like 30 kilometers. So we're gonna show you what we can see here at this fun museum for this national park. And then we're gonna hit the road, see if we can't find some of the vicuñas more out in the wild along the road before we start heading down to a lower elevation, because we can't stay up here too long. We don't want our little Vanna to get sick again. Now we do know she'll be fine up here for several hours. There's just no way we could spend the night at this elevation. So a few hours east of here is a town that we're gonna shoot for that's around 10,000 feet elevation, and that's where we're gonna camp tonight.
Drive days are always good days, and we kind of made it to a little peak where the vicuñas and the condors and all that stuff were. We had a fun time. Always love searching for the nature. We have a short stretch down. The plan currently is to make it down, I think it's about 10,000, 9,000 feet to the next town. We're at 13,500 now. So that will give the cats a chance to acclimate a bit more. However, since we did get such an early start, we may push on. The challenge is we have another 13-foot elevation peak to get across, and it actually stays at that for quite a ways. So basically we go back down to 9,000, then we climb back up, stay up at 13,500, probably on another high plane, stay there for a couple hours and come back down. We may push on through, we'll just have to see how we get to our next potential stop. I'll let you guys know. So all these passes seem to have their own personality, and this one in particular is very olive drab, very brown, and I think we've told you several times it's winter time here in Peru. It's also dry season. They get rain in December, January, February, and supposedly lots of it. But in any event, it's still pretty. There's lots of boulders and sage and all kinds of different flora. But nonetheless unique with its own personality. And we got some steep switchbacks right here. I think that's our town right there, 45 minutes away. It's right there, but these are some major switchbacks we gotta navigate here. All right, guys, we made it to our little stopping point. We grabbed a quick lunch. We're back on the road. We've decided to go ahead and push through. It's only 11:30. We have another spot about 3.5 hours ahead. So we got to go back up, like I said, and then go back down. And that's what we've decided to do. So let's go. You all may have noticed that in Peru, we never got out of tuk-tuk territory. However, the tuk-tuks have changed a little bit. These are the ones we see more common throughout the world. They sort of have a hard cover on them and multiple doors. I like the other ones better myself, but anyway.
Oh, that one's a Porsche.
That one's a Porsche. I like boulders. And in this area, it's like a boulder national park. There's boulders everywhere. but we're beginning our ascent. We're beginning our climb up out of this little city, and it's going to take us up over 13,000 to 14,000 feet. And so we are going to have to muscle through this drive no matter what. We cannot stay up here. And so this decision to push forward means we got a long day of driving. We gotta go. As we look out across the Andes Mountains, there's been one thing we've been wanting to do for a while, and that is welcome all of our new viewers. We've been getting a lot of new people coming every day to our channel. We're so excited for you here. We're definitely excited for those of you who've been with us for a while and keep watching. It's important for us, for you guys to hang out with us and follow the journey. You may also have noticed we are slowly approaching 100,000 subscribers, which is an important milestone in the YouTube world. So just wanted to log in here, stop in here and just say thank you guys for watching. Appreciate having you along the journey. All right, just to give you a little altitude update, we're at 13,823. Vanna's on the dash. She seems to be doing okay. Vanna does too, but we're working on getting down as soon as we can. I don't know if you can see, but back there, Vanna, while we're driving, is eating kibbles. And we always say whenever they're eating and drinking under these circumstances, it's a good sign. All right, we have crossed the 14,000 foot elevation. We're at 14,115 feet and climbing. We're climbing kind of rapidly. And this is about the elevation that we stayed at overnight at Chimborazo, where Vanna got sick. Again, we're keeping a close eye on the cats. But at this point, there's nothing that we can do other than try to get over this peak and back down into the valley, and we're doing that just as hard as we can, guys. All right, off to the left we have a big lake, and we just hit 14.5. I believe this might be the highest point. All right, we got some vicunias on the road up here. As we come up here, I thought we might see some. Look at these things. So cool. Hey guys. Don't worry, we're just passing through. All right, aside from this elevation, we are absolutely loving this drive. You guys probably know by now, we love chasing wildlife. Snow looked out in one of those lagunas and spotted
Flamingos!
2 flamingos. We also spotted more vicunas, and so we were able to get some real nice footage of those, and we were able to get a little footage of the flamingos. They were a long ways off, but we made some extra effort for you. We stopped for 3.5 minutes, but we are on the go again. So let's go, let's go, let's go. We've also noticed that I believe there's some sheep and llama farmers, probably part of the reason for some of these stone walls. There's definitely some birds of prey. Stop, please, stop. The excitement continues. Wow. We saw a herd of llamas, about a half a dozen. I'm pretty sure they were wild. And also we saw 3 giant birds of prey together. We got, I think, some decent shots of them. Yeah.
But we are still in a hurry, so we can't stay long. There's another lake. Oh no.
Fortunately, unfortunately, there's another lake and there's another llama up here.
Yeah,
it's just so exciting. We can't stop. This is going to be a drive-by for you guys. There's several right here. These are dark ones of different kinds. Different colors.
There's sheep over there.
There's sheep. I do not know. Yeah, there's definitely sheep. Is that a sheep herder? Is that some people sitting up in there? We don't know if they're...
I think so, yeah. Look at all these little birds right here by this one.
And then there's this llama down by the lake, and there's all sorts of
Ducks.
water birds and ducks. And you guys know I would love to stop and put a big camera on them, but we just don't have the time. We gotta get the kids out of here. Oh, look at that. So much excitement. Oh, we got
They're everywhere.
stuff is happening everywhere. This is definitely llamas and sheep. And there's some babies up there. Look at the babies. Wow, guys. Alpacas. These are alpacas. These are not llama. Oh, there's sheep mixed in with them. Look at them. Wow, so cool, guys. There's a whole big herd of them over the hill. They're all over the place. Wow, this is exciting and stunning and amazing.
Look at them all, y'all.
A lot of alpacas, a few llamas, a lot of sheep. Wow, yay!
All right, we got to keep going. We got to get our little Vanna down.
Guys, we are crawling out of our skin with excitement, and we top the hill, and it looks like we have an alpaca jam. We have an alpaca jam. I believe there's some sheep and probably some llamas in there, but we definitely have an alpaca
I think the
jam.
on the road. We're gonna get to see the shepherd. Oh, how cool is this? There's so many of them.
Oh, look at this, guys. So definitely, as I said, lots of alpacas, lots of llamas. There's some right in the road, right here in front of us. Look at the little alpaca running across the road. That's a baby alpaca. The llamas have a little bit more, a longer neck. The truck drivers are not as fascinated with these as we are. Wow, so cool. We got passed by the slowest semi on the road.
Now I'm gonna have to pass you, but it's okay.
So I think I know what these round stone pins are for. I think they bring them in there to shear the llamas or sheep.
Yeah.
So I think they're areas to cut the fiber from the alpacas, the llamas, and the wolves. Ah, man. Wow, this is why we travel. All right, we're rolling through a little town, and I have to tell you again, I am just fascinated by the different cultures here. This is definitely indigenous. Their hats are different. And you can see some of these dwellings, that's a thatch roof dwelling. A lot of these made with mud bricks or adobe bricks. Some metal roofs. And as we come through what we thought was wildlife, well, it was wildlife, a mix of wildlife and farm life like we have never seen before. We continue to see different, crazy, weird, unusual rock formations. This area all of a sudden just turned gray and powdery.
All right, we're stopping for a short little break because of those cool rocks over there. Kurt's gonna try to get the drone over them. We almost missed them. They're cool. And then we also noticed right here, ice. Look at this. Right here, and it is hot and sunny out here. It's crazy. What a cool drive this turned out to be, even though we had to do it super fast.
And as Snow said, there's always room for a soccer field. All right, good news. We are going down in elevation. We have about an hour left for our new campsite. Snow's been doing an amazing job of driving, but we have had pretty good road conditions, wide roads, smooth roads, not a lot of traffic, but not to take anything away from her. And additionally, look at these beautiful views all of a sudden. We're no longer on the plains, and we can see into the canyon that we're probably gonna work our way down into. And down there on the bottom is probably where we'll eventually end up somewhere at our camp spot. You can see the zigzagging roads right down there. So it is going to be a pretty quick drop here. All right, don't pay any attention to the horses walking down the road because we are about to pull into what looks like an amazing slot canyon. I'm telling you guys, I'm sorry I just keep popping in, but there is so many stunning things to see on this drive, and we keep getting more and more and more. Wow.
Good morning. We didn't film anything last night. We were beat, but we made it through the really high elevations. We made it down to a camp that was about 10,000 feet, which was perfect. It wasn't glamorous. It was a big gas station parking lot, and we camped with about 20 semis. But it worked. And we're back on the road this morning. We have another long drive, but we did just pull off the road at a little grassy area to get the kitties out for a walk because they didn't get a walk last night, because you can't walk them in a gas station parking lot. And now, let's see what we can find today as we head towards Cusco, which is the launching point for Machu Picchu. Let's go, guys. We've been on the road for about an hour and a half. We've left the pretty canyon river valley area. We've entered a city. Abaque. I'm sure we've both said that wrong, but we're trying. So the next big city after this will be Cusco, but we have some more mountain driving to do. When we leave this town, we'll be climbing up in elevation. Not as much as yesterday, but today we should probably get up to around 12,500 feet. So far, the drive is uneventful and going well. So we've got the vet, a tienda, a Chinese restaurant, a little piñata toy store, a chicken restaurant, and a lot of traffic. We've passed a lot of mining stores, picks and headlamps and masks for them to wear. We must be close to a mining region. There's a cane juice store. All kinds of good stuff through here. Find anything you want in these cities. It's just hard. Pharmacies are called boticas here in Peru. Cell phone accessory stores. A little bit more activity before we get out of this town. All the cell phone stores are in a row. You want to find a cell phone, you come to this block, no doubt about it. This may be some of Curt's favorite driving through these areas. Take away the traffic.
Yeah, there's interesting cultural mix here for sure. All the stuff. Like we come by these houses that are made of stones with tarp. And you're like, where do they get all the tarp? There's a big giant store with nothing but rope and tarp to tie the roofs down. It's fascinating.
Switchbacks ahead. We have left that city and we are climbing in elevation, and we see trees and green grass. It's been a long time, but we are getting closer to the area of Peru that they call the Sacred Valley. I've never been there, but I've just always kind of imagined it would be green, right, Curt?
Yeah, I think so. We're starting to see more green now. A lot of times we get on one side of the mountain, all of a sudden it greens up. And I feel like that's what's happened here.
I know somebody that's going to be happy about some green grass.
G-Money.
Our sleeping kitties. It's the first time I think we've seen this happen since Colombia. The two semis can't make the turn. It's too sharp and they're too wide. One had to back up. There you go. They figured it out. We made the climb just over 12,000 feet. We came around to the other side of the mountains and got whammied with an amazing shot of snow-capped mountains in the distance. Really, really beautiful. Now I think we ride at this elevation, give or take a couple of hundred feet, for a while as we head into Cusco. But the view changed drastically. So I think we've made it to what you might start to call the suburbs of Cusco. This is is a busy little town. I'm sorry, I do not know the name of it. But it is just west of Cusco. Welcome to Cusco. First stop will be our grocery store stopping, then our camp. We won't get down into Centro Cusco today. We'll take y'all down there tomorrow or so without the van. But welcome to Cusco, right, Curdy?
Welcome to Cusco. It's been a long drive, but we made it.
All right, I think this is where we're gonna wind it down and leave y'all. We'll see y'all in a few days from the big city of Cusco, Peru. Cheers, guys. If you liked this video, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell so you guys know when we put out new videos. And don't forget, you can always follow us over on Instagram to see what's going on in between videos. Cheers, guys.